Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a comment on the video. Tell me what your favorite cryptocurrency is, why people should be buying it, and how high you think it's going to go in price over the next couple of months. We have had a pretty hefty amount of price predictions within the cryptocurrency space over the course of the last few days, and it looks like some coins might be winning over others. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Yes, we are still in optimistic prime parabolic cryptocurrency in the future. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Everyone is very hyped about crypto again, which is nice to feel. I'm even getting some of that energy from people outside the market, which hasn't happened in it's like 2021. No one outside of crypto has been excited at all for Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, the multi-coin ETFs. People outside of crypto don't care how high Bitcoin is in price. No, it's just like they just really weren't there. But within the circle of crypto, it's nice to see that people are beginning to understand how much money there actually is to be made by simply buying something and just holding on to it. So I'm going to try and be nice here, but there's clearly some kind of an ulterior motive, but you'll get it. GameStop announced last year that they liked Bitcoin. They would be looking at it and they were thinking of accepting it in some sort of way. A bunch of companies then came out announcing that they were going to create a Bitcoin treasury, a Bitcoin reserve of some sort. GameStop then announced, you know what? We kind of want to do the exact same thing. And it seemed like they were doing it to try and mimic the stock movements of other companies within the space. If you haven't seen, every time, literally, every time that a company has announced they were getting into Bitcoin, they liked Bitcoin, they bought Bitcoin, their stock price would go up. I believe GameStop was the only one whose stock price went down. I don't know if it has gone back up since. I don't check the stock market, but that just kind of is what it is. So since that point, a lot of companies are trying to figure out ways to accumulate more crypto. What we saw back in the olden days of 2017, 2018, and I told all of you that this was happening just based off of logic. This doesn't it's not a rabbit hole that you have to go down. It is literally of course, years ago, when the original companies began to announce that they were getting into Bitcoin, some of the first things that they did is announce that they would be accepting it for purchases within their store. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I came to the conclusion, this is my own personal conclusion, that these companies are basically telling people, you can pay in crypto with us. You can pay in Bitcoin. You can buy stocks. You can buy cars. You can buy so-and-so. It's not to make our lives easier. It's to make themselves richer. If we know that the dollar's not doing well, and they know that the dollar's not doing well, if they know that all these companies are buying up Bitcoin en masse, and we know that these companies are buying up Bitcoin, as Bitcoin's price goes up, it becomes more difficult to buy. So you got to find another way to do it. How do we accumulate without ruffling any feathers and or without rattling the market in any sort of way? These companies want to buy and or accumulate at lower prices. I saw something years ago. really 2018, 2019, of all these real estate companies, watch out for this one. A lot of real estate companies began to try to advertise to crypto investors because they realized that A, people made a lot of money in the market, and B, they wanted to essentially get their money. So these real estate companies began to offer like, hey, this, and I won't name any countries or places or offices, but I'm pretty sure you can put it together. And it was namely because one of the CEOs one time, he kind of like slipped and said it, and he was like, yeah, like crypto keeps going up. So if they can, give us their crypto for an apartment and then price is 3, 4, 5x, we've made more money. And I was like, got it. This is around the time when Bitcoin was like 13, 14,000, somewhere around there. So you can imagine these real estate companies are smiling now. Anyway, GameStop CEO, his name is Ryan Cohen, has teased, wink, that the video game retailer could start accepting crypto. It's not for what you think. It's for trading card purchases. Yeah. Do you want to know why? So GameStop realized, amongst many other companies, Pokemon cards are incredibly popular. You can roll your eyes. You can say whatever you want. I could actually care less. Pokemon is like one of the largest IPs on this planet. It will continue to only grow in some capacity over the course of potentially forever. Companies selling Pokemon cards are doing exceedingly well, and that shows no signs of stopping. GameStop announced last month, maybe it was May, I don't remember. It was sometime, I saw it on Instagram, that they're going to start selling Pokemon cards. And basically they were selling out, like literally, like people were lined up, people walked inside, they had no stock left. So instead of announcing that they're going to allow people to buy video games, as they are a video game retailer, they're doing it literally for Pokemon cards. This was said, and also they said that the company's Bitcoin purchases aren't copying MicroStrategy. I'm going to say A, who cares? And B, do what you want. If you see that something has worked out very well for another company and you're like literally not stepping on their toes, Bitcoin doesn't belong exclusively to MicroStrategy. So you can buy whatever you want. If you feel the need to also try and raise your stock price by 4,000%, buddy boy, please go for it. Like, no one's going to be like, do you see what they're doing? They're copying. No one cares. I literally promise you. If you had changed the name of the company from like Micro GameStop Strategy, that's a bit too on the nose, but everyone is legally allowed to buy Bitcoin. And, if Bitcoin price goes to $1 million, I would assume a large company like GameStop would also be buying some as well. Cohen told CNBC's Squawk Box, that GameStop shifted tactics to reduce reliance on hardware in the face of rising costs and focus more on trading cards and collectibles. But it's working out for them. Like, that's literally the crazy part. Also, even the idea of game, it's still a trading card game, so it works out perfectly. Which one, it said, English, which could one day be bought using crypto. I assume it has to do with some kind of legal loopholes, jumping through something, because just do it. Like, there's no real, I assume it has to go through multiple channels for the allowance of this, but they're basically telling people to buy Pokemon cards with Bitcoin. He said, and I do quote, "There's an opportunity to buy trading cards and to do so using cryptocurrency. So we'll see how much there is on the actual demand side for that kind of product." There's not much overlap, not really at all, between Pokemon, trading card games, and Bitcoin or crypto. I think there's like a thing for investing is somewhere there, but I mean, gold is also an investment. So is Pokemon cards, and the only overlap they have is investment. There's not really a thing there. I don't think there's going to be a huge slew of people who are A, going to be willing to part with their Bitcoin, or B, willing to buy it for a Pikachu. Like it really, like if you think kind of logically about it. He said, and I again quote, "The utility of crypto beyond investing is a hedge against inflation. I think so far that's been the biggest demand for crypto, and so the ability to actually use crypto within transactions is something that is an opportunity and is something that we're looking at," end quote. This is a company trying to basically siphon off extra Bitcoin. They might be able to raise 100, 200, 300 billion dollars. But on top of the money that their company's making, if they can coerce people to basically give them Bitcoin, and I say essentially for free, you know, air quotes, you got it. They're going to do it. It's a bit cringe. It's genius in a way, but also I still believe a lot of people are not going to want to like spend and use daily their crypto until Bitcoin's around or over $1 million. I think that's the psychological part. I think when we get to like a $20,000, $30,000, what do you call it, Ethereum, I think even then, I think people are going to kind of just continue staking it. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. And even for XRP, I mean, the conviction is very strong. There are a lot of people who are waiting for, expecting a $50, $100, a $300 and something dollar. Sorry, I'm stretching my back. Oh gosh, it's so bad. I've been sleeping so bad and I don't know why. I tried this new like back exercise, but I can feel I can feel in my neck and my back that I've exercised, and even stretching, I was like, oh gosh, that feels awful. What was I saying? Something about, right. So even then, a lot of people who own XRP also have no intention of relinquishing it. So, oh, also, side note, you want to hear something funny? Do you want to know why? Remember when Tesla was allowing Bitcoin payments for Teslas? I'm sure you do. Do you want to know why Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin for Tesla like cars? You want to know why? It's because nobody was buying them. They didn't make any sales. You can look it up. Tesla made no sales. No one used Bitcoin to buy a Tesla at all. It just did not happen. So they got upset and then was like, okay, stop. Like, you know, we're not offering it anymore. It's because nobody wanted to. Isn't that funny? It's really interesting. Also, I mean, there are... Okay. Well, that's the GameStop news. I'm really shocked. No other company has ever done this before. Trying to get extra Bitcoin? Wow, that seems almost genius on a different number of levels. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also in the news, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says around 131,000 Bitcoin were accumulated by public companies in the second quarter of the year, growing their Bitcoin balances by 18%. Meanwhile, ETFs also accumulated 111,000 Bitcoin, with an 8% increase over the same period, according to Bitcoin treasuries. Somebody from CNBC said, more companies are trying to benefit from the strategy playbook in a more crypto-friendly regulatory environment. Yes, many people are buying up the Bitcoin, but we already knew that, as we've been going over it for at least the last 38 and a half years. There's a seemingly insatiable appetite amongst these companies who are trying to buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. And I need to say this as well. While 131,000 Bitcoin were accumulated by public companies, another 111,000 just by ETFs, they're also missing like things that aren't companies or ETFs. Surprise, I know. So normal people, have been buying a lot recently as well. I told you before, every time 0.01 Bitcoin. If you have 100 people buying that amount, that's another entire Bitcoin that's gone. Don't forget about the other companies that aren't public. Yeah, people forget about that as well. Public companies do not have to disclose their purchases. Did you know that IKEA is not a public company? Weird, right? Yeah. No, the company makes so much money. It's a family-owned company. They make so much money just from selling furniture that you have to put together yourself. They could be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin every 2 weeks, and they would not have to disclose it. Isn't that crazy? Also, family offices, CEOs of people, like, there's so many layers to the actual buying of this actual asset. And I mean, across the cryptocurrency space. So if you have a rich person who's worth $128 million and he's like, I'm going to buy 2 million every single month, that doesn't have to be reported. All the numbers that we keep getting are very structured around specific things. These aren't the numbers that countries are also buying. Yeah, you forgot that as well. Yeah, there's at least that we know of, because we've heard about them since 2018. There's at least a dozen countries who are actively, constantly buying and also mining Bitcoin, and they're like using it in international trade. So remember, we heard before that apparently a number of like Middle Eastern countries are also like accumulating themselves and just haven't made it public. We got that news sometime early this year. If you weren't here, we got news from Michael Saylor, Max Kaiser, and like 2 other people. They told us that they were in conversations with dozens of different countries around the world who were all looking to get into the space. We got news that they were like, nope, they're accumulating right now. So we keep getting news about accumulation, but it's either always ETFs or companies. This company did this, the ETFs did that. We're missing about I want to say 30-40% of the pie. Rich family offices, the wallets buying 100 Bitcoin per day. All of you out, like your buying adds up really fast. So yeah, the people on the planet buying all the Bitcoin, like literally all of it. There will soon be nothing left. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how math works. If we keep getting news every now and again that the amount of Bitcoin on OTC markets continues to drop, that the amount of Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges continues to drop, also just throwing this out there, prices might keep rising and a lot of people maybe don't want to sell. Weird, right? Yeah. Welcome to the age, the beginning of hyper Bitcoinification magneton or something. I don't know. Anyway, the point of the matter is, yes, never forget how early you are in this market. It is always important to remember that you are at the front of the line in front of 8 billion people who are not in this market, still don't know about the market, but they will. I promise you, as Bitcoin and the rest of the market continues going higher, people will definitely feel the crunch in their wallets and will try to find a way to make money. And it's going to be crypto. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, every single one of you, once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.